Hey everybody, and Happy New Year. I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays, Director of Democracy Policy at Indivisible and the host of Impeachment Daily. This is our first episode of the new year, and everything is already completely wild. So, Impeachment Daily exists to demystify the impeachment process and let you know how you can stay involved in this fight. So today we are going to do our best to talk through what we think might happen this week, including what's happening with the articles of impeachment and when the Senate trial might actually start. But first, we're going to talk about the latest horrifying and lawless thing that Donald Trump has done. As you may have seen, he has brought us, apparently, to the brink of war with Iran. So as you all know, the theme of Donald Trump's presidency has been abuse of power. Almost everything that Donald Trump does as president is for his own personal or political benefit. In fact, his past abuses have been so egregious that he's already been impeached for them. Remember, the first article of impeachment he was charged with was abuse of power. Now, that was in the context of asking Ukraine to interfere with our elections, but Trump's actions toward Iran are no different, really. So on Friday, while he was vacationing at his private resort at Mar-a-Lago, he ordered the assassination of Major General Qasem Soleimani, who was one of Iran's most powerful leaders. That was an act of war. That's something that Trump has wanted with Iran since he took office. This action will further destabilize the region. It will result in countless senseless deaths of Americans, our allies, and innocent civilians. Unsurprisingly, Iran is already threatening to retaliate against us for this. Trump did all of this. He escalated tensions with Iran, brought us to the edge of yet another endless war, all without requesting or receiving approval from Congress to do it. In fact, he didn't even inform them in advance at all, although he later claimed that his tweets, or his media posts, as he put it, counted as the only congressional notification that he needed to give before striking Iran in the future. But the Constitution is clear on this, though. Only Congress can declare war. They can vote on something called an authorization for use of military force, or an AUMF, which would give the president the authority to go to war. But Trump didn't do that. Of course he didn't. He's now arguing that he didn't have to because he can act in self-defense if a foreign enemy is planning an imminent attack. It will surprise none of you to learn that the evidence that shows Soleimani was planning an imminent attack against the United States is razor thin. Basically, there was none, according to the New York Times, but Trump had him killed anyway. This is why Trump must be removed from office. Every day he's in office, he's finding new ways to abuse his power, whether it's asking a foreign government to interfere in our elections or unilaterally starting a war based on a flimsy rationale or maybe no reason at all. Assassinating Soleimani proves that Donald Trump is an unhinged, fake tough guy who has no working knowledge of the existing geopolitical crises in the Middle East, no impulse control, and he is really somebody who's shown no compunction about abusing his power as the President of the United States for his own personal gain. And yet, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell still hasn't agreed to hold a fair impeachment trial to determine whether or not Donald Trump, the most corrupt president in the history of the United States, should be removed from office. And that's why Nancy Pelosi hasn't transmitted the articles of impeachment to the Senate yet. She and Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, want some sort of agreement that Mitch McConnell and Senate Republicans will allow in witnesses with direct knowledge of Trump's corruption. That would be somebody like John Bolton, who said just today, actually, that he would testify in front of Congress if he were subpoenaed. So there's really no reason not to go ahead and do it, Mitch. But McConnell very likely will not allow witnesses to come in and testify until Republicans start to defect from his plan to rig the trial and start insisting on fairness. Now, it will be Republicans who will have to put pressure on Mitch McConnell before he changes his mind. That means we need to call our senators every day, especially if you have a senator who is a Republican. Tell them to reject Mitch McConnell's sham trial. demand that your senator come out in favor for a fair and open trial that brings in witnesses and brings in documents. So what's happening in Iran and the impeachment trial are two distinct issues, but they are on a collision course in Congress because they're both happening on the exact same timeline. So you can do two things at once. You can call your senator and say, I don't want war in Iran. And while I have you on the line, too, by the way, you must agree to a fair and open trial once it starts in the Senate, which might happen as soon as this week. So keep calling every day and let them know those two things. No war in Iran, demand a fair and open trial in the Senate. You can also, in addition to calling, go to impeachnow.org and you can register for events anytime your senator is in town. You can go to where they are and let them know how you feel. Town halls, district office, ribbon cuttings, whatever. Go find them at home and let them know how you feel about this, especially if your senator is a Republican. And you can always text impeach to 97779. We'll send you more information and connect you with your senator directly. That was a lot. Thank you for staying in this fight. Keep up the great work, and I will see you tomorrow.